by the strength of false hope alone. Hell must look a lot like heaven. Hell probably has taller buildings, higher bridges, poor quality rainbows. Did you know morticians used to wear an eye patch to adjust to the dark? They'd simply switch eyes when going down to the embalming room. One eye for the living, one eye for the dead. And when fingerprints are collected at the morgue, they would deglove the cadavers, removing the skin and wearing it as rubber gloves. And they'd ink with the corpse's fingerprints. I used to think that was the funniest shit I'd ever seen. Until I saw this video of a sushi chef cutting the meat off of a living fish and returning it to the tank. Just to show his proficiency, I guess. And if you think I have a fucked up sense of humor, you should meet my mother. She married an alcoholic toy salesman. He collects toys. I collect expensive men. That's what she used to say. That is, up until he almost lost it all, when his super absorbent Jell-O beads, which proved very popular on TikTok, by the way, actually broke down into gamma-hydroxybutyric acid when ingested. That's GHB for you layfolk. The date rape drug. He was drinking a lot at the time, so he actually even decided to renovate our kitchen once with a forklift after Mom fucked the heart surgeon. It's pathetic. But at the same time, it was kind of fucking amazing, you know? Like, destroying that old house was probably the bravest thing he'd ever done. God, can you believe we used to call our old house Malice Palace? What the fuck is that? You know, Dad wasn't the only creative genius in my family. My great-grandfather was the inventor of symphysiotomy. In case you're wondering what that is, it's an antiquated procedure in which you stretch out the pelvic outlet to best permit vaginal delivery for the baby. Or taking a chainsaw to her cunt, as Mom would say. I come from a long line of feminists. Yeah. You know, in junior high, I got in trouble for proliferating a string of videos that featured women's stilettos and small animals. You can put two and two together. Yeah. And they sent me to counseling for the rest of high school. I guess they thought I was some sort of sociopath. I mean, I kind of am a sociopath. But come on, that's like the best thing about me. Yeah. It also means I'm not really interested in sex. Admittedly, there was a period of lonesomeness where I did develop a unique artistic compulsion, a fetish, if you will. I became transfixed by the rendering of men being spaghettified. That is, being yoked through a black hole. It was this like great big tidal force of gravity, like compressing and stretching out the men into like these thin, long shapes. You know, rather like spaghetti. God. I had a hard drive you would not believe. But, you know, It's one of my ritual compulsions. Things I can't control, you know? Oh, you think you're in control? Of what? Your body? Oh, so when your white blood cells detect and disarm bacteria, that's all your effort? That's all your ingenuity? Wow. You really think you're in control of your mind? Alright. Then choose what you want to believe. You'll realize that you can't.
Did you ever know one of those kids growing up that would just believe anything? Like anything you told them? Like a real believer, you know? Like the cult of Oasis. Obviously, it wasn't like a real cult, obviously. It was just like this stupid internet thing where people would like write ghost stories and try and scare each other. And it was actually kind of fucked up now that I think about it. So naturally, as a kid, I was totally obsessed with it. And I was an iPad kid. Actually, I was the iPad kid. Because I would stay up all night reading these stupid fucking ghost stories. And of course, I knew that it wasn't real, but I had this neighborhood boy convinced that it was. And he was a real believer. So, like, it wasn't even really my fault, you know? Plus, this was back in Lyon when we lived in this huge mansion in the woods. So one day, we were playing in the forest, and it was kind of far from home, like too far from home. There definitely should have been an adult there, so it, really wasn't my fault. But we found this, like, moss-covered suitcase, and it was huge, like something off the fucking Titanic, huge. And like I said, this kid was fucking gullible, right? So I was like, the cult is coming. The cult is coming. Oasis is coming. And that's all I said. And maybe I suggested that the only place to hide was in this trunk-ass looking thing, and, perhaps I offered to stand guard and, fight off the cult, and I fought valiantly, and I acted my fucking ass off. But in the end, they got me. The cult got me, and they dragged me away. Just in time for supper. And I swear, I was gonna come straight back and let him out after supper, but it started raining and getting really dark, and my mother was always bitching about something, like she was the fucking victim of all the goddamn problems in the damn universe, right? And then it really started raining, and he was still in the suitcase. He didn't die, if that's what you were thinking. I'm not a fucking killer, okay? But he did lose a lot of oxygen, and he was like totally PTSD after that, like real bad. And I don't know, I guess he got on some medication or something, because now all he does is smile and wave at cars, and I know it's not really my fault. And I don't actually feel guilty about it or anything. It's just like, now I have to be reminded of that night, like every time I look at his stupid fucking Xanax smile. And how many times can you be reminded of an accident before you just give up on caring? I'm not a fucking sociopath, okay? Like, that spaghetti thing was a fucking joke. I don't know why I tell lies. To me, they're not even really lies. Because the gravity of it all is real. Like, the gravity is always so fucking real. And, like, I guess the point is that all the fucked up shit that's ever happened to me, and all the fucked up people that got me here, I have to hope that, no, I genuinely believe that all those people, they'll all be my servants in hell.